Welcome to your winter solstice reading, and this is going to be for the season starting on December 21st, 21. So you have this 12, 21, 21 numbers going on here. You got the 12 and the 21, which is very much a mirrored effect. Plus 1 plus 2 is 3, and 2 plus 1 is 3. So you got a 3, and a 3. So 3 threes. Huge amount of creativity that's going to be coming around this winter solstice. So I'm excited to see what Spirit has to tell us about those 3 months. Also, of course, winter solstice is the beginning of Capricorn season. I will have a different video for Capricorn for that season coming up, so keep an eye out for that as well. But this reading is going to be a pick-a-bear reading, and so you're going to have a choice of 3 different bears, and you can choose as many as you want. You're going to have the brown bear, the black bear, and the polar bear. And I'll have timestamps for each one of those in the description box below if you want to jump ahead to the other bear. We're going to start, of course, with the brown bear. And we're going to be asking the question, what's going into hibernation? So we're going to just ask what is falling away, what is kind of shrinking in our life, at least for this 3-month period. And with that shrinking, with all this creativity going on, what is going to take its place as it shrinks? Because there's always a certain amount of energy in our lives, and as one changes, it makes room for something else. So I'm excited to jump right in, and like I said, we're going to start with Mr. Brown Bear first, and if you chose one of the other bears, just click on the timestamp below and you'll jump ahead. So let's get started. All right, all my Leos, if you chose reading number 1, which is the brown bear, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling some cards here from the Surrender Oracle. And this is just going to tell us what the Creator wants you to know about the winter solstice and what is going into hibernation. And we, of course, will dive in deeper as well, but we'll start off here. For the Leo brown bears, what would you like them to know? What is going into hibernation for them, please? Okay, this is the one right here. And you've got surrender to rest and sleep. Take a nap, right? It's funny how life changes. We can't get us to take a nap when we're young, but when we're older, we look forward to it. And it says, to prevent burnout, slow down. Honor your need for quiet time and peaceful sleep to rejuvenate your mind, your body, and your spirit. So this is telling you that you are the one that is going into hibernation during this winter solstice. So it's time for you to take a break from all the rat race, from everything that you are wearing yourself out with, and to rest and sleep and to spend that time on you, because the greatest gift that you can give the world is a healthy, full you. And once you're whole and full and rested and have slept and have all that, then you will fill up and everyone can have the overflow. You don't have to drain yourself anymore. But we're going to go ahead and pull some cards, or a card at least, from this Animal Spirit Guide deck, and just see what else the Creator wants you to know about this winter solstice. There we go. All right, Creator, what else for our Leo brown bears? Okay, not that many. All right, what else? What else would you like them to know, please? Go. And you have the elk spirit. Beautiful. And let's take a look here and see what beautiful message comes from that. And here's the elk. So this is stable, resilient, headstrong. It also represents the father. So the great elk represents the earth element in its masculine form. So this means it provides underlying support and stability amidst life's many changes. An elk personality, whether male or female, is fully established in themselves and knows their core values. They become known and respected for acting in ways that uphold those values. Sometimes the elk's ego can become inflated, but for the most part, they make damn good fathers, mothers, lovers, and friends. The world needs more elk energy. Because when you're in balance with this, then you're supportive, you're kind, you're consistent. But when you're out of balance, then you're pretentious, high, and mighty. And to bring yourself into balance with this energy, it says, eat and drink more consciously. So in addition to this resting and sleeping, this is about also taking care of yourself, but making sure that you are eating and drinking more consciously. So a lot of self-care and self-nurturing going on here. And then we're also going to pull a card here from these Ancestor Tarot. Just going to see what other messages we have, but this is definitely a season to withdraw your energies into you so that you can be healthy and whole and nurtured, rested. All right. Creator, what else for our brown bear Leos? Okay, that's the one right off the bat here. Then you have the Eight of Cups. Cups are your emotions. And the Eight of Cups is all about realizing what emotions you are ready to leave behind. What are you ready to move on from? So you've got all these old memories, these old emotions, and you're ready to head off into this like sacred place here. I mean, that's the oh my gosh, I can't believe my brain has forgotten this. But it's just a sacred site is what it represents anyway. Stonehenge, oh my gosh. I'm trying not to drink as much coffee, and obviously my brain needs a little bit of it at least. But so, and I also love here, you kind of see like this, the red doesn't show up as much in this one, in that moon right here, but it's kind of all about the moons. And I do put out separate readings for the new moon and full moon in each month. So with these moons really being showing up here, I really feel that you should be looking into the moon cycles. So whether you look at my readings or not, or if you track it separately, or you have some other resource where you look into what sign and energies are in the different moons, I would definitely make sure to keep track of those during the monthly cycles, especially in the second and third month, because we're about to pull cards for the first, second, and third month of the winter solstices, and the moons are showing up here. We'll see what other cards appear too. But I specifically for this would be 12/21 to 1/21, 1/21 to 2/21, and 2/21 to 3/21. So those within those two dates, definitely keep an eye on both the full moon and the new moons, because this could represent full, or that could just represent a total new moon. But I really feel just look at all those moon cycles. These are the Tarot of Dreams. And like I said, we're going to look at each of those 3 months individually. Let's see what else the Creator wants you to know for each one of those. But yeah, so, with this message coming up here, I mean, this is all about you self-nurturing your physical body, getting rest and sleep, what you're eating and drinking. And this has to do with your emotional rest as well. What your emotions you're ready to leave behind and move into a more sacred place, a more deeper space within yourself where you can rest and you can relax and feel just emotional rest most of all. All right, so Creator, for 12/21 to 1/21, what do you want our Leos of the brown bear to know? So those, any others? Okay, and these two. And then 121 to 221. Okay, and these two. And then this will be 221 to 321, please. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, and then this one they want for, whoops, they want these three, actually, for the end, just kind of an overall message for the three there. So let me just split these out a little better. All right. And this makes total sense. The Queen of Swords, you can see here, Libra, the balancing. So this is balancing of your mind. The Queen of Swords, swords are about your mind, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations. But the queens of all the minor arcana also bring in water energy. So she also brings in the divine feminine. And so she balances heart and mind very well. And that is what this is coming in here, of course, talking about, is mental rest and emotional rest. And this is the Ace of Swords that she yields, which does a few things. The big thing it does is it brings you capital T truths. So the small t truths of the world, those are the things that will be, emotionally impacting you, mentally impacting you. It's all our fear, ego, supposed to, shoulds, need tos, have tos. And this sword allows these higher truths of the higher realm, those truths that do not need defending, allows you to experience those and have those come into your mind, and you get to see things from a different perspective, a higher perspective. But the Ace of Swords also, where the Eight of Cups is you leaving behind emotions that no longer serve you, the Ace of Swords allows you to cut away those thoughts and those beliefs that no longer serve you. They served you for a time to bring you distress and insomnia and lack of sleep, right? But this is all about transforming that so that you can have this true restful sleep and true rest as well. Okay, yeah, I had a feeling this was coming up. This is the insomnia card that I was just mentioning. So we knew this was coming. Insomnia, nightmares. Again, this is the Nine of Swords. All these thoughts and these beliefs that you're trying to uphold, this is what is causing you unrest. This is what is causing you, distress in your life. And what's beautiful, though, is that you have this Queen of Swords beforehand, which helps you sort through this, helps you release these things so that you can truly have a rest. Yeah, well, yeah, you evidently have a lot on your mind, because here's the Three of Swords. This is really what I call the expectations card, and usually you'll see like a heart with three swords pricked into it. And what this message comes with that is this awareness that we cannot truly be heartbroken. We're taught that, and again, Libra is jumping out here again, more balancing. But there's this belief that we have been taught since very, very, young in human civilization. And it's just our egos just keep reinforcing it throughout, history and throughout our lives, that when, such and such happens, this is supposed to devastate us. When such and such happens, we're supposed to be heartbroken. And this is all this, pain, this emotional pain that happens. And what's beautiful, though, is that our heart can never be broken. Our true heart, our higher heart, is eternal. It is unconditionally loved. It is powerful. It can't be hurt. Where heartache comes from is our physical heart. When we go into fight or flight mode out of fear, that's the prick in our heart. That's that heartbreak feel that happens. But it's our heart fearing emotionally, an emotional monster, usually not a really physical monster that we're in danger of, because a lot of us live in places where we're not going to be threatened physically. But It's an emotional monsters that trigger most of our civilizations now, except if you live like out in the country or, in countries where lions are walking around in your villages and small towns. But for the most of us, it's feeling threatened activates our fight or flight, and that's our heart jump-starting, sending adrenaline throughout our bodies and doing all these things that happen in fight or flight mode, and that's what that is. So again, swords and swords and swords, and I shuffle these really good, so yeah. And then you have the Palace of Wands. Palaces are only specific to this deck. Tarot doesn't have palaces normally. Wands are all your drive, your ambition, your spark, your aha inspiration, but also your spiritual energy. And looking at the palace here, this is, you'll see like the Knight of Wands and all this beautiful place. This represents, for your reading, creating this place of safety within where you don't feel that you are at risk, you don't feel threatened. And there's beautiful butterflies on here too, and there's this beautiful transformation that is coming from all of this, and I'm sure we'll get more as we go into here. But when we're talking about the capital T truths, that's connecting to your higher self, your spiritual self, the spiritual side of our existence, the true who we are, not just this, human character on this earth. We're this powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. And, there's this space, and again, here's the big moon. You can see the moon right here. So there's definitely this connection to the upper worlds that is bringing this piece of safety here, where your Queen of Swords will come visit this Palace of Wands. But definitely there's this transformation of thoughts and beliefs that begin to happen 1221 to 121. And then that brings you into 121 to 221. And you've got your Seven of Wands. So this beautiful energy, this beautiful spark that you're having, you don't need to worry about defending yourself. You have the upper hand. The Seven of Wands is really about standing firm. One of my favorite decks, or at least the Seven of Wands in the deck, shows someone in this bubble, and all these other wands are like poking at it, trying to burst the bubble, but they're safe and secure in this beautiful ball of energy. And that's what this represents, is like you'll have these other people that will be saying, why are you so happy? What you're so different now. Why don't you come back down here and be miserable with the rest of us? Because misery loves company, and we don't like that you're feeling bright and all this. And that makes sense with, you obviously, with being exhausted with all the stuff you're trying to do. You are helping so many people. You're doing so much for others that they're actually, you're like this giant barrel of energy, and people are, these pipes are connected. These other people that are sucking out energy, which people really can't do that. We're the only ones that can. We attach the pipelines and have it go out to them. They can't pipe into us without us wanting it to happen. So we're the ones that are doing that, thinking that we need to give to them first. But especially this solstice, you are instructed to cut off all those pipelines that are trying to suck off your energy, where you've been investing it to spend it on you. You get to fill up, without all those pipelines, that level of energy is going to fill up and then overflow, and everyone else can get the overflow, but you get to feel whole and complete, energized and nurtured yourself. Yeah. Eight of Cups. So this is the month in which you are letting go of those emotions. You are moving past feeling guilty, and thinking that, you have to give of all your emotions, and all that emotional energy first. So this really is this letting go of these, feelings and stuff. And again, big old moon. So definitely moon energy coming up for all 3 months. I would definitely look into those. Yeah. Because here's the Lovers. The Lovers card, this is general reading. I really feel like this is zeroing in on inside of you, not outside, for like relation type stuff. But this Lovers card here brings a wonderful message too. Because the 4 and the 5 that come before the Lovers in the major arcana are the Emperor and the Hierophant, and they are both they have a beautiful loving side where they're these individuals that are wanting to give of themselves, and it's all about the success of the group and spreading love and success to everyone. Whereas there's also a darker side, which is like the dictator and this really controlling spiritual leader. And the side of them appears when their shadow gets involved, when the human ego gets involved, and we're scared. And because when we are afraid, we want to be in control. And then if we're in fear, when we're wanting to be in control, we want to do things to make sure we keep control, gain more control, and take control from others. And so that 4 and that 5 on the shadow side becomes the suppressiveness that we feel like when we're younger, our younger teenager years, where we feel like there's all these roles, everyone's trying to control us, blah, 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 right? And we continue to feel that for quite a long time in our lives. But this Lovers card comes after that, and it's because the first time we feel passion in our life when we're young, usually teenage years, we'll have a crush on someone, or we'll just think of a band or a music artist as like the bomb, or we want to go see a movie or something like that. And this represents us having such passion inside for something that we're willing to break those roles of the Hierophant and the Emperor, those dictators and that suppressiveness. We'll break like a curfew to go see someone, or even though they're telling us they don't want us to go to that concert or that movie, we pretend we're going to go stay over at a friend's house and we all go see it anyway. It's that type of thing where you feel so passionate about it, you're willing to break these roles. So these 9 of Swords and 3 of Swords, you're ready to break that and move beyond that, which is great. So this is that big, you're starting to question and understand and have this foundation, and you're really putting it into practice and doing a lot of sorting out of things. And you have this energy that's coming in where you're just like, I'm done. I'm ready to move and do these things. Which brings us into 221 to 321, which you have the Tree of Life. This is also a card that is specific to this deck. And the Tree of Life is based on the Kabbalah or the Kabbalah, depending on what, wherever you come from in that, you'll pronounce it different. But at the very top of the Tree of Life is like us and our spiritual side. And then there's all these ways that we kind of came down to become the human piece of us. You can kind of think of it as maybe like high vibration of love and then a lower vibration of love. And we went through this path to be able to be in the physical form. So, but this is like just showing you that there's a path. Everything happens on purpose for a purpose, and there's this specific path. There is more than just one of you in this form. We have our spiritual side, our internal self, like I talked about, and then the human. And so there's this, just understand there's different viewpoints. From the viewpoint of our human, one of the beautiful things that I learned for what I did read about the Kabbalah was we've got like, our human has 5 openings where it receives information, and they're really not openings, they're more filters, right? And there's something like, so many billions of bytes of information our brain receives a second, not a minute, a second. And of that, our brain can process 0.00000000006%, something like that, something where we really don't know what's going on around us because our brain is only processing a tiny, tiny amount of it. But when you connect to your higher realms, so all this moon energy is like the 6th sense. It is about connecting to our higher self that sees things clearly. It doesn't have that filter of this realm which alters things. We get to see those capital T truths, like we talked about in this Queen of Swords with the Ace of Swords. And so it brings this beautiful awareness and beautiful clarity of things. And that's the sacredness that we're connecting back to. The sacred place, this sacred place is up above. Yep, and you have the Justice card. Again, this is about balance, so balancing things. But it also has the Ace of Swords, and this is the balancing of the small t truths with the capital T truths. So that happens even more so. This, with it being major arcana, like the small suits have to do with situational or daily type stuff. This is like big, lifelong stuff where you're really seeing these big capital T truths, and you're really seeing this balance come in by seeing things from a higher perspective. Yeah, because here you have the 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Coins. And the 9s have to do with finding this from within. So the Pentacles and Coins are about your outside world feeling safe, feeling secure. So where you've been doing a lot of internal work here, it starts to flow to your outside world more here as well. So you do feel this closeness to yourself. And here's the winged. You're not totally alone in there because you have your winged friends here, which are your spiritual side, right? You've got all your guides and your guardian angels and your loved ones on the other side, your ancestors. So you have a lot of spiritual assistance in helping you understand your wholeness and your completeness. Because as you look at this tree of life and you start to see things from a different perspective, a higher perspective, you see how small the outside world is compared to the world that's inside of you. Yeah. And here's the Emperor. So as I talked about with the Lovers, now here is where the loving Emperor comes. The Dictator is taking a back seat. The Emperor, the loving Emperor, who is filling up with love and allowing that love to flow out to the kingdom that's around them. It allows you to feel this place where you don't need to dictate people's lives and exhaust yourself trying to control everything on the outside world. You're actually allowing people to be who they are and giving them loving guidance and loving support. And that's this life change that you're experiencing during this month. Yeah, because on here you have the Page of Coins. So pages are like messengers. So you are going to get messages from the outside of you coming in, which will be of guidance and support. So you might be getting messages like synchronicities and just seeing things like license plates on the car in front of you will spell something out, or you see like a bumper sticker, or maybe something on the radio, a song comes on, or just something from the outside world really starts to, you see these messages come from all over the place, giving you signs and synchronicities about things. So those are the messages that are going to come from the outside world. And then this is also about new opportunities coming up. You've got this newness that's coming in with the pages. And so these new opportunities, these different opportunities start to enter your life during the February 21st to March 21st, because you're giving yourself rest, you're seeing things from a different perspective, you're willing to make jumps and leaps into new stuff that is more in alignment with your energy, with maintaining yourself and your health. So this really brings these open doors that happen during this month because of all this work that you've been doing. Let's see what else we got here too. Yeah, okay, so the Palace of Coins. So the Palace of Wands helps build this safe and secure. So eventually, all this, by the end of the winter solstice, does start leaking out into the physical world and makes you have this feeling of safety, this feeling of wholeness and completeness. It's almost like the Wizard of Oz, the Emerald City. You just feel like all those things that you were looking for, the brain, the courage, the little ruby red slippers, the hot air balloon to help you get to where you're wanting to go. So you're just going to see this change that comes in. Yeah, and then you have the Nine of Cups. So feeling emotionally fruitful and complete as well through all this makes total sense with everything that we've been talking about. Yeah, and then the Ten of Coins, which is, again, one of the most abundant cards. So you have all this abundance that's flowing out for you throughout this situation here. And it makes total sense, because when you are taking all that energy back that you're investing trying to be that dictator over everything else in the world, it's exhausting. It wears you out, right? I mean, that's the Nine of Swords. You're like one sword away from feeling exhausted and ready for that ending and new beginning. So you are so ready to take all that energy and invest it in your passions for your life. It's enough of the sacrifice, like they say, come get off the cross, we need the wood. So love that message for you. And then lastly, we're going to pull a card here from the Angels and Ancestors deck and just see what the final message that the Creator has for you is. All right, what's your final message for our Leo brown bears, please? Okay. And there you go. Here's that loving Emperor. That's Lord. Take charge with authority. So take charge of your life, not other people's lives, your life. Because when you are full and whole and complete and overflowing, what you're giving to the world is so delicious. What you give them before that is bitter and sour, because there's expectations that are attached to it. Where this new, when you fill up and they get the overflow, it's so sweet, it's so delicious compared to what you'd give before. This says, don't be afraid to take charge or use your voice. Be strong. The Lord is the consort of the lady, the emperor, in traditional tarot. He represents an authoritative male who isn't afraid to lay down the law, but this doesn't mean he's angry or chauvinistic. He is self-possessed, reliable, and ambitious, a man of honor who's earned his place in society. The Lord in this oracle holds a ram staff and wears a crown of antlers, showing he keeps himself firmly rooted in the ground and is protective of his people. His regal air indicates he has a taste for the finer things in life, yet he is sensitive to those who are less fortunate than he is. And the extended message for this card says, sometimes you have to take control in order to be honored. If you feel that your kindness or gifts are being taken for granted, it's time to change that. There's no excuse for bad behavior, and the ancestors are encouraging you to hold your ground and speak your mind in a fiercely loving way. You have the energy and might to overcome dramas or energies that aren't working for your growth, and it's time to take charge before you find yourself in a situation that you don't want to be in. You're being encouraged to be the boss instead of being bossed. This card also brings the energy of ambition and can show you have the potential to move upwards on a professional level, but only if you act with authority and show who you really are, right? Your higher self. So strong messages here, leaving behind this old way of thinking and believing and not being bossed anymore, that you get to put yourself first, and then everyone else gets that overflow. So love it, love it, love it. It does end in beautiful feelings of abundance and overflowingness, which is excellent. And I don't have anything else to add there, so we're going to leave the reading right here. Just know that in addition to these readings, I also do monthly readings for each zodiac sign, weekly energy updates for all the elements like fire signs, water signs, etc. And then also, like I mentioned, new moon and full moon readings throughout the month. So especially for you guys, this is really for each month, paying attention to that. So if you haven't done so already and you want to get notified when the new readings come out so you don't miss any of them, just click the subscribe button down below, and that's going to make this little notification bell pop up. And if you click on that, then that'll take you to your notification settings, and you can set it to receive them right away once the videos are available. So that way you don't miss out on any of the messages or any of the, energies that are coming your way. All right, well, enjoy your winter solstice and know that each and every single day of your life, you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, the Mother and the Father of all things. And of course, I love you too. So I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon, but until then, you take care. All right, all my Leos, if you chose reading number 2, which is the Black Bear, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Surrender Oracle. And we're just going to see for the winter solstice what the Creator wants you to know about what is going into hibernation. So for our Leo Black Bears, Creator, what would you like to bring to bear? Whoa! Almost set it on fire there. So 2 of these? Okay, they said you get 2. And you got your surrender your desire to control people. That's being over controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give this situation some breathing room. So yeah, definitely the need to control is going into hibernation, which allows you to step back from situations and hibernate a little bit as well. Yep, and then surrender to silence. So that makes sense. So as you step away, you get to go into silence, and you don't have to speak up and try to control things, right? In quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. So yeah, definitely these interact with one another. This letting go of controlling others and kind of stepping away from that heat and stepping into silence, stepping into yourself and focusing on you. The phrase, sweep in front of your own door first, is what's coming here. So it's like, yeah, let what you're trying to control in others, let that be a mirror of what you're trying to, where you feel out of control in you, and help it be something that helps be this beautiful mirror for you. Not something that you're in trouble for or judging yourself for, but it's all about reflection in the silence here. We're also going to get more on this, of course. I'm going to dig into this animal spirit deck and just see what else the Creator wants you to know about this. But yeah, I mean, you'll learn to enjoy this silence, right? It's like that song, "Hello darkness, my old friend." "Hello silence, my old friend." All right. Creator, what else do you want our Leo Black Bears to know about this? Okay, this one right here. And you got the Peacock Spirit. It's a beautiful card, and we'll just put that right here. And let's see what message Mr. Peacock brings you. There it is. Yeah, inner beauty, compassion, assimilator of anything. So the beauty of the peacock is unrivaled. It's easy to think it comes from the plumage, but the secret of the peacock is that the beauty resides within and extends outward indefinitely. This adept creature can assimilate or digest all experiences in life, so it does not harbor resentment, conflict, or past pain within its psyche. The peacock type is extremely rare. Not many of us have reached this advanced level of acceptance of the self and others. Because when you're in balance, you're confident and you're kind, and when you're out of balance, you can't digest situations. To bring this energy into balance with the peacock, meditation on the navel. So, definitely this is about, being able to digest other people's actions, other people's words, and not taking them personally, realizing that everyone is acting out of either unconditional love or the fear of losing conditional love. So if those actions that you're receiving are not of unconditional love, then those people are acting out of their minds because they're in fight or flight mode out of fear. So they literally, the brain is drained of a lot of blood to where we don't think clearly, we're reacting. So a lot of this trying to control is us fearing, so we're trying to control others to feel safe, but others are acting out, trying to control us and trying to control their situations and what's going on around them. So it's this chaos. So taking deep breaths, I love the green tint to this, coming back to your heart, where unconditional love is, taking deep breaths, more deep breaths, and more deep breaths, to where your body is calm, your mind is calm, and then you can see things from a different perspective when you're sitting in the silence, like in the eye of the storm, rather than being out in the chaos of the storm there. Okay, we're going to pull some cards, or a card here at least, from the Ancestor Tarot, and just see what else the Creator wants you to know about this winter solstice. All right, for the Black Bear Leos, what would you like them to know? What else about this winter solstice, please? Oh, okay. Well, here we are. So the Ace of Cups. This cups are our emotions. This is the chalice, the Holy Grail. This is the beautiful gift of unconditional love. And it fills up your cup and then it overflows out. And that's what happens in this silence, is you get to get away from the storm and you get to sit in this and you get to let this love fill you up, and then it overflows out to where you're not trying to control what's going on around you, because you're just letting things unfold for you in your life, and you trust that they are, because every moment is really of unconditional love. We just fail to see it when we're in our fear mode. So this beautiful place of this peacock is a place that you can get to, this beautiful place where you can digest whatever happens in the world, because you have this, it's kind of like this is the Pepto-Bismol, that digestive juice, cleanser that allows you not to have an upset stomach with whatever's happening in the world, because this is what you're truly thirsty for. All that other stuff we eat is like junk food that upsets our stomach, but this is the living waters of what you're really, really searching for, what everyone is searching for. So I'm excited to see here, we're also going to pull cards here from this Tarot of Dreams. And we're going to break down each of the 3 months within the winter solstice, just to see what the Creator wants you to be aware of for each of those months. The first month is 12/21 to 1/21. And then this will be 1/21 to 2/21, and then 2/21 to 3/21. So for December to January 21st, what would you like our Leo Black Bears to know about that month, please? Okay. I feel like we got that one here, this one here, and this one here. Yeah, and that one here. And then 1/21 to 2/21, please. Okay. And just that one here, and then these 3 they want for this month. And then this one is going to be for just the overall. Okay, so 12/21 to 1/21. Then you got the 8 of Cups. So this is about what emotions you're ready to leave behind. And so that's what we were just all talking about here. Those things that upset your emotional stomach here. This is the realization of those things, this control of others, these emotions and feelings and reactions that you had to other people's actions, and you're ready, to step on up to a new place here in your path, a new place in your emotional state, which with the Ace of Cups, that allows you to do this, to look at emotions from a pure place, a non-reactive place. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, because here you have the Ace of Coins. This is also the Ace of Pentacles and other suits. And this is about the outside world. And so you do have this new opportunities, this new stuff that opens up in the outside world, which makes total sense. Like you said, as you're letting go of these old emotions, it does bring these new opportunities. You're not emotionally reacting anymore. You're not scared of situations. You're understanding that you get to choose the emotion that you're going to put around anything. You get to choose the story you put around anything. And so that opens up this opportunity because you're no longer restricting it with the hows. You just know what you want, and then you just have this wider open approach to life. And then because of that, before you would look at this is where the answer has to come from, all this out here, nope, off limits. It can only come from here. But as you expand and let this emotional stuff go, your willingness to accept things outside of that small thing, that small, alleyway, opens up this huge field. And so more opportunities come, answers come where you felt there were no answers to be had. And you're like, oh, wow, well, that'll fix it. That'll change the situation, that type of thing. And you have the Knight of Wands. Wands is your drive, your ambition, your aha inspiration, and it can be your spiritual energy as well. But I feel like all this energy that you were invested outside, and when you bring it in here into the middle, you have so much energy at your fingertips to focus it and to do things that you want to do and what you want to accomplish. And so all that energy that you were investing, trying to herd all those cats, trying to control the outside world, comes pulling back into you along with this loving energy. It allows you just to become kind of really so fine-tunedly focused that you're able to move things in your life very easily and very quickly. Yeah, and here you have the Palace of Cups. So all of this allows you to create this beautiful place. Palaces are specific to this deck. Most tarot don't have palace cards in them. But this is about, this is on the very bottom of the ocean. You're not, when I was talking about coming to the eye of the storm, it's like, no, this is like in a hurricane is happening above on the surface of the water, but your beautiful emotions have this safe place so far below the surface that you just feel this solid place. You just aren't impacted by that storm like you were before. So this beautiful, strong foundation in your emotions and all this emotional energy being pinpointed, bringing all this opportunity during your first December 21st or January 21st. So a lot happens during that first month, but it's all good stuff. It's like, as long as you're doing this evaluation of your emotions and stepping back into silence, you'll see some significant changes. Which brings you to January 21st to February 21st. Yep, huge new beginning, a huge new leap into something, a new adventure. So definitely this also represents your soul. And with this peacock was talking about looking at life from a different point of view and from this kind of evolved higher place of existence, this beautiful butterfly, all about transformation and transforming who you are, how you look at life. I always look at, whenever I see this, it looks like the Enterprise, right? It's like going where no man has gone before, going where you have not gone before in your life. And it's beautiful, though. It's not like you're being kidnapped. You're jumping off in this beautiful adventure. Yeah, another palace. So Palace of Coins, this is like the Emerald City. This is this beautiful, the outside world feels safe and secure. You feel abundance. And it doesn't necessarily have to be financial abundance, but it's this internal abundance that you're feeling. And you just, you feel safe and secure. Your emotions are feeling solid here. Your outside world is feeling solid here. And it usually takes time for this to get out to the outside world, but you are moving at this lightning speed. So you've already have these beautiful opportunities from December 21st to January 21st. You're already it's flooding out into your life from January 21st to February 21st. Just this beautiful, yeah, because here you go, Knight of Coins too. So this is movement. You have the Knight of Wands here, you have the Knight of Coins here. The other three Knights, besides this Knight of Coins and Pentacles, move quickly because they're all inside. You know, your Wands are your drive, your ambition. You know, the Swords are your thoughts. Cups are your emotions. All that happens on the inside, but this is about the outside. So just know it moves to the outside world, and normally it moves very slowly. But there's these new adventures happening. But this Knight here tells you that some pieces of it are going to move slower than others because the outside world does take time to catch up to your insides. Huge inside movement that has actually sparked changes in your outside world, huge changes in your outside world, more to come. And then we'll take a look here. Because this is February 21st to March 21st. Yep, you have the Strength card here. And this is a beautiful story behind this card that Spirit has given me. And it makes total sense with everything that's going on here, because here it has a tiger, it usually has a lion. And this feline represents our human side. It represents the shadow piece of us that was willing to come down here to experience what it might feel like to be separated from our beautiful existence of unconditional love and light on the other side. And we came here to experience what it might feel like to be small and to experience this world of opposites, right? But like this full card representing your soul, before and I'm sorry, I got off track here. I'm sorry. They're like, whoop, 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 get back over to what you were going to say. So the lion or the tiger comes down here and it's hungry and it's thirsty, right? And it's told to look out here outside of yourself to the outside world, and that is going to make you not hungry, and that's going to quench your thirst. And so we go, okay, and that's what we're told to do. So we believe it, and we go out there, and we eat of relationships, right? We either romantic or family or friends or work relationships or relationships with our fur babies and feather babies, and so we do that. To try to feel whole and complete and to quench our thirst. Or we look to circumstances like jobs or education, or we look to our bodies or possessions or finances. Those things are supposed to make us feel whole and complete and make us not hungry and thirsty. Well, it's more like Chinese food where we eat it, and if it filled us up, we're hungry moments later. Or if we drank something, we're even more thirsty. And so this lion or tiger gets so desperate and it's so hungry that it becomes hangry. It's hungry, angry, and it's roaring in the jungle. Well, the lady on the card represents our higher, eternal, infinite self. It's the powerful being that we are, which is made of unconditional love. And it knows, it senses the small part of itself that's down here on earth and going, okay, it's making noise, what's going on? So it comes down to investigate, right? But it doesn't come down to kill the tiger, to put it out of its misery. It doesn't try to cage it, to control it. It doesn't try to suppress it with a whip and a chair and do all that, because what the tiger is really hungry for is unconditional love. That's why it's so hungry, because it's not finding it outside. It can only find it from our higher self. Our higher self is a being of unconditional love, and so it connects us to that world, our home, where the creator of all things lives, right? The mother and father of all things, that's unconditional love. And it brings that unconditional love to us. And so this tiger transforms from this angry, roaring tiger in the wilderness to a purring little tiger cub sitting in the lap of our higher self, feeling whole and complete and purring for the first time, right? And this is a beautiful transformation, that happens in our lives. And I mean, it's right in the same above this card of the unconditional love of this chalice. And so this is definitely reiterates what I was talking about. You get filled up This is the tiger being filled up with the unconditional love from above, and then it fills up, and then it allows it to overflow to the world. And then you have the world. So I just said it flows out to the world. The world is endings, and this is new beginnings. So you have these new beginnings that are happening, and you have more major endings to cycles in your life. So there are things that are changing, and that makes sense that, this thirst and hunger for things outside of ourselves, it's like that quest ends because we have a new quest, this new thing that we can pursue for this holy grail, right? Yeah, here you go, the Lovers. And this is all about being passionate about things in your life to where you're ready to break those old roles of, that you're supposed to find all that wholeness and that completeness. Like everything with this tiger has to do with all the opinions and the popular opinions of things that we've been taught when we've been growing up, right? That a relationship, finding the one is supposed to make us feel whole and complete. No, okay, well, it did for a little bit, kind of, sort of, but maybe it's when we get married, or maybe it's when we have children, or maybe it's when we get our first house, or I get my first promotion, or we get my first new car, or we get my first blah, 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 blah. It's always something more. And all the suppressiveness of the supposed tos and the shoulds and the have tos of life make us feel suppressed and caged. In the journey of the Lovers, it comes after the Emperor and the Hierophant, which is all about, there's shadow sides of them that try to control the spirituality of the world and the societies of the world. There's a beautiful loving side of them when they're not in fear, but when they go into fear, they become very suppressive. Well, the Lovers comes in, it's kind of like teenage years when you have all these rules and curfews and everything else that you're supposed to be doing and obeying. But the first time you're passionate about someone or something, like a band or a movie or something, you're willing to break the rules to pursue your passion. And that's what's kind of happening in this whole thing here. This ending of major cycles is this ending of things, of trying to pursue things the way you thought it was because you found something that is making you feel whole and complete. These living waters allow you to see what has not been making you feel whole and complete, what has not been quenching your thirst, and it allows you to see this is what you've been looking for all along. And then you have the Palace of Wands, which is wands are just like your spiritual energy and your drive. So you have 3 palaces, which is pretty amazing because there's only 4 palaces out of all the cards, and you have 3 of them, which shows that you are moving quickly into building this strong foundation and this major transformation in your life. So, this winter solstice, even though you're going into hibernation and stepping away from that chaos of the world, when you're submerged and you're in this palace, you're doing this major overhaul of yourself to really evolve to this beautiful, I really feel like this peacock type of energy where you're able to digest anything, where things don't impact you like they used to. People are going, what's happened to you? But you found this new passion in your life where it's worth it. You're not worried about all trying to control the world anymore because you found this beautiful, beautiful multi-dimensional palace within yourself, which is amazing. Lastly, we're going to pull a card here from these bird message cards and just see what the final message that the Creator has for you for this solstice. This is awesome. I'm just kind of blown away with especially those 3 palaces. It's just, and you got 2 aces, and you've got all this major arcana stuff going on, which really, the minor arcana, which are the cups and the suits, are more like situational and daily, short-term, things that are happening and transformations. But the major arcana are like life-altering things. So it's beautifully life-altering. So, all right, Creator, what's your final message here for our Black Bear Leos, please? Okay. Looks like you get 3. Not surprised. So you've got the albatross. Love it. And that says, what does it say? Conserve your energy and reap bountiful rewards. So this is all about, conserving your energy, moving that energy to within you and not so much about the outside world. And then you got the bird of paradise. Beautiful birds. Display yourself to advantage. This is no time for false modesty. So, again, this peacock about false modesty, right? They're like, no, the true beauty is your ability from within on what you can do, about what you can digest. And so that I just really feel that reiterates that message. And then you have the final one here. Beautiful little superb fairy wren. It says infidelity is in the air. So let's read this infidelity is in the air one here, because I feel like there's a different message here, and this is not about lovers here. This is not about it's not intended to be that. This is a general reading, so who knows, that could be happening in some of your lives, but this is about the infidelity to yourself, about being true to you. Because it says, fairy wren lives in barren lands where nest sites are rare. And so young fairy wren, like aristocrats of yore, stays at home waiting to inherit the ancestral site. A marriage of social convenience, of necessity, with a near relative generally ensues. And exuberant philandering quickly follows. Male fairy wren flies far afield, a flower held firmly in his beak, a gift of courtship to the many he desires. A gift his wife will never receive, at least not from him, but bouquets are presented by a myriad others, and soon Lady Fairy Wren is playing the femme fatale. It says, if seductive fairy wren has arrived in your cards, then infidelity is in the air. Does another's unfaithfulness rend your heart? Then it is time to leave, for this partner will never change. If, however, your heart remains untouched, then you too may take a lover or three, and like fairy wren, enjoy the best of both worlds. Wow. Mother Nature's having a blast out there. But yeah, I really feel like this is talking about, if you can stomach everything that's going on in the world, then you can find the true love that's within you, and you can come to this place where you don't look at other people's actions, and you don't have to try to feel like you have to control everything out there, because what's happening out there has nothing to do with you. You get to decide the story that you're applying to your world. This Ace of Cups allows you to choose the emotion that you want to choose. It's the Holy Grail. When you're full of unconditional love, a love you can't lose, that comes from the creator of all things, the mother and father of all things, the king and the queen of the kingdom. Who cares what anyone else's does, because you have it all, because you are the prince or princess, or however you identify, of the creator of all things, right? So this is beautiful. That this is all about. Don't focus on the outside. Conserve your energy. Come sweep in front of your own door and look within, because it's going to be a life-changing experience for you. I mean, just definitely all this beautiful stuff that happens here in February 21st to March 21st is worth all this amazing movement that you have going on. So, all right, they said that's enough. I'm going to leave that here. Just know, in addition to these readings, I also do monthly readings for each zodiac sign, also weekly energy updates for each of the elements like air signs, water signs, etc., and a variety of other readings throughout the month, like new and full moon readings, etc. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and get notified as soon as they are available, then if you haven't done so already, just click the subscribe button down below, and that's going to make this little notification bell pop up. And if you click on that, then that'll take you to your notification settings, and you can set it to be notified right away. So it's easy breezy to do. And just know that as you're going through this winter solstice, and each and every second of every day, that you are indeed unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon, but until then, you take care. All right, on my Leos, if you chose reading number 3, which is the polar bear, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card from this Surrender Oracle and just see what the Creator wants you to know about this winter solstice and what is going into hibernation for you during this period. All right, Creator, so for our polar bear Leos, what would you like them to know? Okay, I feel like this is the one right here, and actually 2 for you. You have the surrender unhealthy relationships. So that is good news, right? Let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. So these unhealthy relationships are actually going to be going into hibernation. So during this 3-month period, if you have someone who is removed from your life for whatever reason, just know that is in the cards, literally. This also can be relationships like work. So your relationship to work, your relationship, it doesn't have to just be with a human being, but it can do with your relationship to education, anything in the outside world, to do with anything that you can have a relationship with. Yep, and surrender to the wisdom of your body. It's funny because I was going to say your relationship with your body too. So evidently that might be what some of this for some of you is. And it says, listen to your body's messages about a person or a situation. If you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If you're energized and happy, move forward. So yeah, definitely surrender in healthy relationships, but also listen to your body about that as well, because it is full of wisdom. We're also, of course, going to dig deeper here through these animal spirit cards. Just see what else the Creator wants you to know about this winter solstice. All right, Creator, for our polar bear. Whoa, okay. Nope, not all those. A lot of energy in here, though. Okay, here we go. Wow. Those 2? Okay. Like I said, a lot of energy in these. So you've got the owl, okay, all about the wisdom, right? Be wise. And I just noticed that these, not all these colors, or these cards are purple. And then you got the gazelle as well. So we'll just put these right here. And let's see what messages. We'll start off with Mr. Owl here. There we go. So the owl is all about abundance, clairvoyant, and treasures. So the owl is a mysterious and otherworldly creature found in folklore from the east to the west. The white owl in this particular deck is the companion of the goddess Lakshmi, L-A-K-S-H-M-I. I probably murdered that, I apologize. And it represents wealth, beauty, and good fortune. When the owl card appears, it's an omen that a boon or treasure is on the way, either in spiritual or material form. With owl wisdom on your side, you'll see and know exactly what to do with this boon. However, it can further serve your dharma and bring abundance to the world. Trust that the wellspring of treasures is infinite. So, yeah, definitely there's this wisdom theme here about listening to your body, listening to your gut, listening to your intuition as you're coming into this. So with this toxicity and unhealthy relationships, don't think those red flags are a carnival, as they say. They are there to let you know, about a lot of things. They're mirrors for you to see things on how you feel about yourself, because the mirrors in those relationships will continually come, giving you the information, showing you what you want to see about yourself, saying what you need to hear about yourself until you hear it, until you see it. So pay attention to this wisdom that's coming for you there. Oh, how funny. So gazelle is also heightened awareness and ability, and also being vulnerable. So the gazelle represents supreme grace. With every move, this awe-inspiring beauty emits sophistication and elegance. Gazelle personalities are often hyper-aware of their surroundings, bordering on hyper-vigilant, and this can inhibit them from enjoying the beauty they spent so much effort cultivating. No more worrying about all those predators out there in the wild. When this card appears, it's time to get back to the present moment. Sit down, find your breath, and acknowledge the bounty that surrounds you. Let it nourish your gentle spirit. So this talked about boon, this talks about bounty, and coming back to the moment and seeing what is going on around you, right? So some good information coming here for you about awareness, and I love the super awareness, but don't let it, destroy your happiness and take you out of the present moment and allow you to fear. Just be present, but be also aware of the messages that you're getting, right? Beautiful balance. Right, and then we're going to pull a card here from the Ancestor Tarot. Let's see what else the Creator wants you to know about this winter solstice, and then we're going to dig more detailed month by month for the 3 months. All right. For our polar bear Leos, what do you want them to know? What else? Okay. Here with the Princess of Cups. Cups are your emotions. The princess would be pages in the regular tarot, and of course, with it being water, and you've got all these emotions here. This is twofold. One is pages were like communicators. They were the messengers, the ones that go, hear ye, etc. To the villages and all that. And so this represents that you're going to be getting emotional messages, which totally is fitting into what we were talking about in here about listening to your body and listening and being aware, right? So you definitely want to be aware of the emotional messages in the gut that you're getting, because you've gotten it here and here and here. So it's definitely coming for you. What's beautiful is that all the royalty in the cups have this chalice, this holy grail, and within that, that's the Ace of Cups, and it has the living waters. It has the essence of the Creator of all things, the unconditional love of the Creator, because the Creator is unconditional love, and that's the essence of it. So it's feeling there, which is also the other message that comes with the Princess of Cups, the Page of Cups, is that it brings you this new level, this new awareness of emotion, this new awareness of love. So you do definitely get to taste, by experiencing what you is not making you feel whole and complete with this toxic relationships, with these unhealthy relationships, you more fully understand what you are thirsty for. Because once you taste a little bit of that, the rest of it you realize was cheap imitation and tastes like caca-poo-poo-doo-doo in comparison. So, but we're going to dig in deeper here. These are the Tarot of Dreams. And we're going to pull for each of the months, so 12/21 to 1/21, and then 1/21 to 2/21, and then 2/21 to 3/21, which will take us right up to the spring equinox. All right, creators, so for 12/21 to 1/21, okay, what else? Okay, got those there, and then 1/21 to 2/21. Wow, okay. What else? Okay, jeez. Okay, that's it for that, and then 2/21 to 3/21. Okay, and these three are for overall for the end here. So we will take a look here. So we're going to start with 1221 to 121. And you do have the 9 of coins, which is also the 9 of pentacles. And this is about, the 9s are about finding it within yourself. So in this case, this has to do with your wholeness and completeness, like your worth of the outside world, and you're finding it from within you. Now you'll notice here, she's not alone in this garden, but she has this feathered friend. And the feathered friend would be like this feathered friend that is connecting you to the other side. The higher awareness, your spirit guides, your angels, your guardian angels, your loved ones on the other side, your, ancestors, whatever you believe those beings of unconditional love and light are on the other side, they're helping you acknowledge and understand this worth that you have, this self-worth from within. So you feel this wholeness and this completeness already in that first month coming in. And that makes sense as you step away and these unhealthy and toxic relationships get pulled out. It's almost like you've been feeling feverish and sick, but then you have this purge of all this toxicity out of like you do this cleanse, and you feel so much more healthier because of it. Yeah, and here's your 7 of cups. So you have all these cups are the emotions, right? So you have all these emotions. You're realizing you have all these choices of any situation that happens. You get to choose what story, which of these cups you choose. What emotion am I going to feel around any situation? Also, what story am I going to put to each situation? A lot of times we don't feel we have a choice, right? We have been told so much and taught so much that, well, when this person acts this way, it means something about us. But really, it's like, no, when someone acts a certain way, that's me telling them telling me about them, how they're feeling, what they're seeing. But that doesn't mean I have anything to do with it. They are looking through their filters, and I'm looking through my filters. So I get to choose, and you get to choose what any of this means, right? So beautiful awareness comes in when you find this wholeness and completeness within. Then you understand, well, wait a minute, I don't have to feel this way about these emotional actions of others. Doesn't mean I have to take on that emotion for myself. Yeah, because here you have the 5 of swords. Swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations. And you'll see that and here he's yielding this Ace of Swords. And these are all his thoughts and beliefs that he's transforming, because the 5 is a very transformative number. So these thoughts and these beliefs that you had before, I think is this Venus? I forget. Oh my gosh, this is crazy too. I might get the book out, but all 3 of these have the same planet. I think, is that Venus or Mars? I forget which one. I'm learning. So we'll find out. In fact, let me grab the little book, and we will find out right now, because they are telling me, don't put it off. Find it out right now. So we will. It must be important, right? All right. Yep, that's the Venus. So I was correct. So yeah, all these are Venus. These are all about your relationship to your self-love. So all of these, this is crazy. So all of these are influencing how you feel about yourself and your beliefs around yourself. So definitely this is your self-worth and your self-emotions and your self-thoughts. So huge transformation and transition that's happening in your this first month. And then you move into 121 to 221, and you have the Knight of Wands. Wands is like your drive, your ambition, your spark, your aha inspiration. Can be your spiritual energy too, but there's this fire. The Knight is all about movement. So you do have this movement happening in your life, which can be a movement like in location, either like movement out of a relationship, movement out of a job, movement out of a house, movement out of state. that type of thing. So I feel like there's this movement that happens during January 21st to February 21st in some area of your life with that. But it's good because this is all about putting this awareness into action as well. You have this new spark that's happening, and you're putting it and putting literally fire behind it because of that. Yeah, makes sense. Here's your 10 of Swords. Stabbed in the back by expectations, right? And the 10 of Swords is beautiful because usually they're like face down on a beach and they almost look dead because they're exhausted from having to try to live up to all these expectations, all the supposed to, shoulds, be's, needs to's, have to be's, and all that. And it's good because 10 is endings and new beginnings. So these are the letting go of these old thoughts and beliefs that are no longer serving you, and you're transforming them. So you started to do the work here. This is major, major work. I mean, all these swords, it's like you are exhausted, you had enough, I'm out of here. I mean, that's what's happening. So yeah, because here you Palace of Swords. So palaces are specific only to this deck. A lot of the tarot don't have these. And so this is all about finding your peace of mind, finding a safe place in your mind. And I mean, this huge, if you can see this here, this is almost like a huge Ace of Swords. And this is like, you have this beautiful capital T truce that replace all these small t truths about your wholeness and completeness and who you really are. You just have this strong, strong foundation with that. So it's like, I am of sound mind and body. It's just like you have this really solid foundation that just explodes during this month here. Which then takes you to February 21st to March 21st. And you've got the Chariot. Perfect. This is what I call the power of choice card, where you realize that, like I was talking about before, you have this full understanding. You're taking the reins of your life. You're understanding that you are the one that gets to choose what emotion you feel about every situation and what story you apply to any situation. So that's like the power of choice card. And so you've reached this beautiful point where you just feel so empowered because of what you learned and how you applied it. And then you're just like maintaining and moving forward, cutting more things out, transforming things in your life, and just reaching this beautiful place, where the minor arcana, like all the suits, are about situational and like small periods of time, like a month and things like that. But when you get into the major arcana, this is about life-changing things. Like you're changing, this attitude about power of choice is impacting your rest of your life. It's not just, a month and a month. So good news. Then you have the Six of Coins. And this is great, especially with all this toxic relationship stuff, because for me, this represents, I call it the codependency awareness card, because you can see he's balancing the giving and receiving on a scale. And what this brings is this beautiful understanding that whereas before in your toxic relationships, most likely you were an enabler, where you're the one that gives and gives and gives and gives and gives, and you had this like belief within you that if you couldn't give, then you were nothing and they were just going to leave you and go somewhere else, right? Because I wasn't able to give them what they wanted. It's the way enabler side of relationships work. I know I'm a recovering enabler, so I know that when you have this belief that you are the one that needs to be giving, you don't receive from the other person, and so you teach them to just receive from you, not give anything back, and so you're giving, and you get worn out and exhausted like this Ten of Swords, and then you also become resentful because you're exhausted and you're not getting anything back. But if they tried to give anything back, you would still, no, you cannot, because that means I'm a failure and you're going to leave me. Well, the thing is that when we're not allowing someone to give to us, that the person on the other end of this codependent relationship, they need to be able to feel like they're giving as well. And because we won't let them give to us, then they go outside the relationship to give. So they end up sometimes leaving the relationship anyway, either emotionally or physically. But they will, find an affair because they will accept what they're giving, or they'll pour themselves into work and become a workaholic or a project or like a hobby or their friends or a sport. They'll do something else where their energy will be received and they can give. And that's what this codependency happens, because when you come into a relationship to begin with, you're two adults, but when one wants to give and the other and force the other to receive, it becomes parent-child instead. And that's where this unhealthiness comes from. And so this is letting you know that, with this awareness that builds up over here about your self-worth, with this 9 of coins, you realize that you can both give and receive, and it's okay. You're going to allow people to give to you because that's a gift that you're giving to them, because you're going to let them feel good about giving to you, just like you feel good when you give to them. And it's this beautiful adult-to-adult relationship, and it's weird. Right? It's so abnormal. It's not toxic or unhealthy. What is it? So it's beautiful. You have this awareness. Doesn't mean that you'll go into one, but you have this awareness looking back over your life going, oh, I see what happened. And then you have the Knight of Cups. So Knight is movement again. So you have movement and you have movement again. And this is of emotions. So you do have this switch and like I said, this movement of your emotion from the old way of feeling to new ways of feeling. So you're really putting it, and it can sometimes represent a romantic type too. So I really feel like by this time, you're ready for a relationship. You're ready to try a different type of relationship with yourself, or a different type of relationship with others. And that doesn't have to be romantic, but the Knight of Cups tends to be romantic. But again, this is a general reading, so different types of relationships coming in your life to see things from that different perspective there. And then overall for the month, you've got the Justice card, which is all about, again, balancing capital T truce and small t truce, because that Ace of Swords is there again. You've got the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Coins. This is Mother Nature, Mother Nurture, so definitely time to take care of yourself. And then you have the Strength card, which this is all about finding your wholeness and completeness from yourself, from your higher self, which is beautiful and amazing there. Because that whole story is about, this is two sides of us. When we come down here, the tiger is our human side. It wants to feel that hunger satisfied and that thirst quenched. It's told to look outside of ourselves for it. So we look outside to relationships, to situations, to things, and we get more hungry, we get more thirsty. It's like American Chinese food. You eat it and you're hungry an hour later, right? So the little tiger, the animal side of us, is roaring in the jungle because it's hangry, it's hungry, angry. But it's not hungry and for those things that are not fulfilling it, right? Because what it's truly thirsty for and hungry for is the unconditional love of our home, where we come from. And this other lady in this card is our higher self. It's our eternal, infinite self. It's a powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. And it is what it brings the love that we've been searching for all along. So our higher self comes down and gives our small little animal self the love it's been looking for, and our angry tiger in the jungle transforms from being that to this purring little tiger cub sitting in the lap of our higher self, feeling whole and love and completed. So this wholeness and completeness and nurturing and balancing of small t truce with capital T truce is your whole theme for this entire period of time, finding the love that you've been looking for on the inside. And then once you fill up, like this Ace of Cups, once you fill up with that love inside, then other people can have that unconditional love. And the new relationship that you get with other people of all kinds is not one of neediness. It's not one of mistrust or codependency. You are interdependent. You're independent on the inside, filling up and overflowing, and other people are overflowing, and you get the overflow from others, and you're like, oh, this is delicious. It's not full of fear and bitterness and resentfulness, right? Which is definitely not the norm of our current plane, but that's why it's so delicious and why this is so new. So definitely a beautiful winter solstice here for you. We're going to pull one final card here from this chakra reading cards and just see what else the creator wants you to know about this winter solstice. But beautiful, beautiful heart energy. I bet you're going to get the heart chakra. I betcha. Who knows? We'll see. The proper message will come out, which is right here. Okay, let's see what this is here. Nope, you got even a bigger one. You got a spiritual awakening card. Beautiful. Which makes sense. That's, in a way, that's our heart chakra, because that's where the love comes from, right? I know I'm stretching that, right? So this is the crown chakra, which is all about connecting to this higher, beautiful being. And this says that this card has come into your reality as it's a powerful time of spiritual awakening. The whole planet and everything on it is waking up slowly from a big sleep. The ancients call it the time of the awakening. Our hearts are opening and expanding to experience a deeper sense of love and wisdom, just like this was talking about, right? I lost my place here. Okay, sometimes this can be uncomfortable and challenging. However, always remember that through these challenges, you have the ability to grow. You're being asked to let go of anything that is stopping you from experiencing this deep connection at present. It's time to discard old beliefs and bring in new ones that support your growth. Make sure to nurture this process by meditating, attending a weekly spiritual group, or reading books that can assist in this powerful process. Your vibration and energy is moving to a more refined state of being, and you are currently receiving divine messages and healing as you deepen your spiritual awareness. This can mark a great time of change, where what you knew to be true, your small t truths, is restructured and a whole new understanding is birthed within you. Wow. All good things take time, so be patient with this awakening and trust the process. This card can also indicate that the question you're asking or requiring clarity on has a big connection to your spiritual growth, and the answers lie within this new spiritual awakening. And the affirmation for this card is, I embody my ancient wisdom and I open to the divine spirit within. Love it. So yeah, definitely it did come down to the heart, didn't it? So I love this message for you. It is a huge spiritual awakening. It's a huge love on the inside awakening that does transform your relationship with yourself and your relationship to all others. So it's a beautiful winter solstice adventure for you. Who says winter has to be cold and boring, right? Winter's one of my favorite months, by the way. So I'm not dissing winter. It's my posse. All right, well, I'm going to leave the reading there. A beautiful, beautiful reading. And just know that in addition to these readings, I also do monthly readings for each zodiac sign, weekly readings, like energy updates for each of the elements, like water signs, air signs, etc., new moon, full moon readings, a bunch of other different readings throughout the month. So if you want to get notified as soon as those come out so you don't miss them, and you get to get those new energies and messages as soon as they're available. If you haven't done so yet, just click the subscribe button down below, and that's going to make this notification bell pop up. And then once you go into there, that's your settings of notifications, and then you can just select to be notified immediately, and then when they come out, you'll get notified, and then you can find out what the new energy and new messages as you're going throughout your month. So just to know, of course, that as you're going through each and every second of every day, that you are unconditionally loved by the Mother and the Father of all things, our Creator. And of course, I love you too. You have an amazing winter solstice. I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon. But until then, you take care.